everybody. Yeah, today I'm doing the inking, yo. The penciling, you know what I mean? I did the penciling like, you know what I mean? I did the pencil like a half an hour earlier, you know what I mean? It took me an half an hour. But now, technically in the inking phase, it's a splash page. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be like this collage. You know what I mean? So I wanted to do when I was, I started doing comics back in the day. The first things, what I mean. I always focused on the collage splash page because I think on your splash page, you know what I mean, you can tell a lot. You know what I mean? It, you can tell a lot of story, you know what I mean, in a short space of time, and you can utilize, you know what I mean, the entire page to kind of show that. So I was, you know what I mean, doing this page, you know what I mean. People said that I knew back in the day said, um, you're not been doing a lot of drawing recently. You've been doing a lot of zebra stuff. We're wondering if you gotten too good for, you know what I mean, actual drawing and illustrations. I'm like, really no. See, the thing is, the reason why I I still draw, but the thing about it, this was one of the things I did because, you know what I mean, I was still doing my graphic novel. I I always, you know what I mean, between I always be taking breaks in between the time that I do it, and it's not like a traditional run. You know what I mean? I always go like on a 2 year break, you know what I mean, and work on other things, you know what I mean, do other things. And I do other stuff while I'm doing it. Um, say the Madhouse brand, that's what it was named. Simply the magazine that it was gonna come out in. It's like a similar magazine to like heavy metal where you have a lot of fables, you know what I mean, and there's three ongoing, you know what I mean, titles affiliated with that magazine. Um you have the Duppy Man Chronicles, and you have the main one, the longest one, Corpse Maker series. That's a series of that's the longest run graphic novel that I've ever, you know what I mean, did. The next one would be, you know what I mean, Rain. So you have three graphic novels loosely developed around, you know what I mean, this the Corpse Maker Chronicle, the Corpse Maker stuff, you know what I mean, that's all sci-fi action horror. And the Duppy Man stuff, you know what I mean, that's basically just, you know what I mean, just kind of horror drama, like, you know what I mean, Edgar Allan Poe stuff. It's crazy, you know what I mean. And Rain is a crime drama, technically a coming of age crime. You know what I mean. The protagonists in all three have, you know what I mean, very different attributes. So, you know what I mean, something crazy. But Discover that I'm right now, Discover that I'm doing is for the Corpse Maker book. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of stuff on it, and since of lately, I've been closing the arc on all three. You know what I mean? In 2024, I think I did. Um, I'm working on the last story. You know what I mean? I've been working on it since 2000 and, you know what I mean, 3 technically. You know what I mean? And the story has developed so many characters, and but now, in 2024 to 2025, in this year I was supposed to launch the video game, but people, you know what I mean, wanted to get people familiar with the lore, mythos, you know what I mean, of the characters that I was putting out, and you know what I mean, I want people that are gonna purchase, you know what I mean, this IP to like really know, you know what I mean, the story, how it goes, and you know what I mean, how it ties into something that's realistic in terms of, you know what I mean, you're getting that classic feel in terms of, you know what I mean, storytelling just doesn't focus on one topic long enough to have you trapped in to one niche, like, you know what I mean, every other indie comic, you know what I mean, independent publisher, or what you see a lot of mainstream people are doing now. The thing that is gonna make it unique is that it wasn't following trends. It was true to the subject matter of what, you know what I mean, was real. Because right now you're seeing a splash page, you know what I mean, with a bunch of montages. It would remind me of, you know what I mean, back in the day when I read like comic books like Danger Girl. You know what I mean? That was an image one that had a lot of splash screen montages and collages. You know what I mean? In how it told its story. It was a very explosive and fast-paced comic book. And you know what I mean? I'm one of such illustrators. The beats that I take, even while illustrating cartoons, you know what I mean, animating cartoons or animated comics. I'm a very fast pace, you know what I mean, it looks like live action technically. So the story isn't the reason why this is like this, because the story that people are expecting to see, right, it's fast paced, and it's, yeah, it can relate to people. You know what I mean? If you were ever like interested in like westerns, or you know what I mean, detective noir stories, you know what I mean, stuff like, you know what I mean, the Corpse Maker is right up your alley, because at the time I did this, you know what I mean, in 2011 I did a lot of stuff surrounding me and my then girlfriend. You know what I mean? We're not together right now, and you know what I mean? She contributed a lot in terms of the story plot. The characters embark on a journey, you know what I mean, through the Badlands, and it was similar. It was not exactly what happened in real life, you know what I mean. A lot of stuff happened. I'm not one to really go back and say it, but you know what I mean, it influenced the storyline a lot. You know what I mean? She um we're not really together again though, because I mean she was one that didn't see, yeah, I mean, see the potential behind what I was saying. She didn't have much of an imagination. When the video game comes out, I know she's gonna be like, call me up and be like asking me stuff if that person is based on her. Not really. You know, what I mean, after 2012, I met someone else. I'm sorry. You know, what I mean, but yeah. Well, you can call me up, but you ain't gonna get no loyalties, baby. Trust me, it's not. Thing was inspired by, you know what I mean, our fling that we had, our little infatuation shit that went on that time. So, but enough about that. You can call me and talk about things. Ah, what I like to say though is, you know what I mean, this splash page that I'm doing, you know what I mean, is conveying a lot of story, telling a lot the backdrop, you know what I mean, the foreground, the background, what's happening, you know what I mean. You can see that the person there has a gun to their heads, right? And you know what I mean, a lot of people use, you know what I mean, good illustration to tell stories, because if you always, there are a lot of people throughout history that, you know what I mean, that draw things, that illustrate stuff, and you don't even have to read the dialogue to know what's going on. You can basically keep up with the story. Like, alright, check it. You know what I mean? I remember back in the day, I used to watch a lot of comic related stuff, and one of those such persons that I checked out his work, and it was very descriptive in terms of showing us, you know what I mean, how to convey feeling. I believe a lot of artists, you know what I mean, work stands alone and it doesn't need any dialogue for you to translate what's on the pages. You know what I mean? Um, I could list a few people that had that that ability while I was growing up. You know what I mean? Extremely intuitive artists, and their interpretations of things, you know what I mean, were like very best. I would say, if we go expressions wise, you know what I mean, John Romita Sr., both him and John Romita Jr., you know what I mean, his son, they're very, very descriptive artists, man. Their illustrations can tell a lot just by looking at the gestures. They're very gesture oriented artists, you know what I mean, and even people like, you know what I mean, like, say, Will Eisner, you know what I mean, I've went back and like seen a lot of his old stuff, and you know what I mean, um, those old school artists, man, they had a lot of descriptive work. Their work could the work that they were doing was very open to interpretation, meaning you could not really get what was, you could really get the story by seeing what they did on the page. I think Will Eisner was one of the first artists to stop using the border lines when he did artwork, and he said like it was sequential art. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff on that. that's for next time. You know what I mean? Because right now, I think what we should be talking about is, you know what I mean, a bunch of stuff that I said I was about to do. You know what I mean? After this, you know what I mean, I'm sending out the Falcon and the Red Hulk stuff. You know what I mean? But I took a break because a lot of things were going on, and you know what I mean, a lot of words were exchanged. People that I knew in my community, man, me and them had like some issues. They were saying a lot of shit that, you know what I mean, that about me, which I took to art because the thing about it is that I don't know why you're following my career and you haven't even bought anything. You haven't bought anything. You know what I mean? I make more online sales. You know what I mean? People that I never see again. People that, you know what I mean? If you're gonna pre-order my stuff that I'm putting out, you know what I mean? I could work up a package for you. Could do a special edition. You know what I mean? Because I've been doing illustrations for a long time and I've been making money off it, even though I'm not in the biggest niche part of the world where, you know what I mean, I'm not in like a San Diego Comic Con. I'm not like on the echelon of those type of artists. But you know what I mean, I've been to art shows. I think my, you know what I mean, my fan community is growing in terms of the people that, you know what I mean, I've done artwork for over the years. I'm really known in the communities that I lived in. You know what I mean? I've lived in like 3 communities on the coast, and I've went to like what I think like 3 different schools, and all my schoolmates know me. A lot of people, they know me. Yeah, and I mean I'm known. I'm not like that obscure. I've just haven't, you know what I mean, found, let's say, the commercial success that I wanted in terms of I wanted to release my material to, I mean, to the put it out to the next level, which being, you know what I mean, video games, animation. That was the goal, but you know what I mean, people wanted me to be. I didn't want to be a traditional artist. When people use the term artist, they want to narrow you down into one bracket, meaning they don't want you to evolve. And I've been going through this session for a long time. I don't know why they wouldn't want me to take it, you know, a step further, because I've always wanted to put my work in there. Said this is what you should do. You're good as, it's like when I was in school, I always hated those people, man. People that, you know what I mean, because I was a great athlete, believe it or not, and people didn't want me to become, you know what I mean, I wanted to become like one of the world's greatest athletes in terms of I didn't quite find the sport that I was doing because I was overall great in everything. At first I said it was football, then I said it was bodybuilding, next I said it was boxing. But because of that, and you know what I mean, people that I wasn't seeing the opportunities that I thought athletes are, and I wasn't about to have no school by me. You know what I mean? The dudes that got bought by school, very successful, but you know what I mean, they were successful athletes, but their careers are very obscure in terms they don't have a lot of novelty on their careers. Me being an artist, I mean, I was able to, you know what I mean, gain some form of recognition and novelty and my own niche style. So I think I'm on the right track to getting my things to be a video game. You know what I mean? There's only so much that I think I can accomplish before, you know what I mean, actually kicking the bucket, and that's a far way off because I'm still young, man. I'm like 37. You know what I mean? So my athletic ambitions, you know what I mean, when I turned like 32, I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna pursue athleticism anymore. You know what I mean? For the longest time from 2013 to 2017, you know what I mean, I was doing a lot of stuff, you know what I mean, physically trying to get in shape because I wanted to still pursue, you know what I mean, I wanted to pursue like martial arts in terms of, you know what I mean, kickboxing or taekwondo or something. I wanted to have a match, so I was putting together, you know what I mean, every bit of knowledge that I had on that, and I was getting the best shape of my life, extremely disciplined, you know what I mean, in terms of how I ate, sleep, and trained. You know what I mean? I think I was really trying to work out to take on the best in the world, but you know what I mean, when I really saw that, you know what I mean, it would, for some reasons, I lost. What did I lose? I lost, you know what I mean, the reason for doing it. You know what I mean? I pushed myself so hard that the results that I saw my body went through, and how, you know what I mean, and how just better I got at it. You know what I mean? Because I've been doing it for a time now. I've been, you know what I mean, been a part of, you know what I mean, the old karate thing, you know what I mean, the old jiu-jitsu stuff. I've seen the gym dude teaching it and stuff. You going in and you know what I mean, you showing them your stuff and you breaking shit, you know what I mean, you're gonna put out those blocks and those, what you call it, those board stuff, and you break them, you know what I mean. I always go to the gym and make fun of that dude, man. It's like, we good though, because the thing about it is that the country I'm in, people take it for a joke, cause just like how I see a lot of jokes being made, man. You have these mothers that are out of shape and they sign up at the gym, and then they turn it into one big fucking dance class, man. I don't need to go to the gym to learn how to dance. It's for the people that were losers once. You know what I mean? There are better ways to get in shape. I could wake up in the morning, you know what I mean, do like 20 push-ups, 20 to 50 60 to 100 push-ups every morning, and you know what I mean, I could bench like do like 10 sets, 160, and still keep myself in shape going on forward, man. 'Cause I think I'm still in terms of fitness. I'm still like in my mental late 20s, like late 27 in terms of my mindset. But you know what I mean, I'm 37, and I can just right back into it. You know what I mean? I don't have to. My body hasn't gone through some of the changes that a lot of people in the promo ads are saying. I don't know, probably to how I live, and I mean to how I eat. Maybe I'm just overall. I think I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm not in competition form when it comes to fighting, but if I was to like train for like something really professional, you know what I mean, I think I could get into shape very quick, fairly very quick. It wouldn't even be a challenge to me. I mean, when I oftentimes think of motivation, I think of back in the day, you know what I mean. I think he's the greatest motivator, and I mean, a lot of people are gonna say that Arnold Schwarzenegger, yeah, I mean, is their greatest motivation for working out. I think that's kind of true, and for me, I'm not the type of bodybuilder that look like an Arnold, but you know what I mean, I could get up to like 180, 175, and I think I'll probably try for like 220 the next time. But the thing about it is that getting into like that type of mindset, what he says in his speeches and documentaries are absolutely true. You know what I mean? It's like you go into a God mode in terms of what you visualize in your head. You know what I mean? And then you just work those parts out, and automatically, you know what I mean, you start seeing results on your body. You know what I mean? I've been an athlete for almost all my life, so you know, I've started out gymnast, and when I was young, I was practicing gymnastics because I used to watch the Olympics and see the gymnasts. You know what I mean? Like doing the flips and the 360s and all that shit. And then, because when you're flexible as a child, your bones, you can do a lot of things when you're younger. You know what I mean? From the age of 5 to like 12. That and football, later I lost interest in that, and I was a dancer for a time. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of things that you can do to keep in shape. Yeah, and it never really gets old. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? If you have the right mindset and you have the right amount of time on your hands, you know what I mean? Anything is possible. You know what I mean? What I'm doing now is just one more of my disciplines. You know what I mean? I've been known to do my artwork a lot more hyper realistic, but this is like comic book artwork with kind of a comic booky style cross action. So I've gone a bit cartoonish in terms of when I do my comic book style drawings with cross hatching. And yeah, for a lot of people, this, takes a lot, but all I can remember, is having the discipline of a 12-year-old. Very disciplined 12-year-old. Unlike the ones that I'm seeing now. Whoa. As the tracks play. Okay, I think I'm gonna just keep doing some cross hatching and then I'll just catch up with you guys after the next Hollywood track. You know what I mean? You can see my sequential artwork is telling a lot right now. I consider myself a bit rusty, seeing that, I wasn't really into it. I was into the drawing, but I was really lazy. Yeah, when I was doing this, so it's not my best cross hatchet, cartoony comic book style artwork, but it's pretty up there. Yeah, I mean, well, I said earlier that I was, I mean, doing something similar in terms of action, like Danger Girl and some of the stuff that came in the early 2000s image was really the pacing just seemed to be like that. I mean the story, I mean takes a different route. It is more, I mean relevant to how things are now. I mean the characters, they're more in tune with, I mean the nowadays diaspora in terms of, I mean how these girls actually stay. She's actually an archetype of the stereotypical, I mean, what is she really? The girl in the drama. Is she like a badass, I mean, genius level prostitute, martial artist, strip dancing, what do you call it, thief, somebody who doesn't need to do all that shit anymore, who's still doing it? Y'all get an idea of what I'm trying to say, right? Someone that clearly didn't grow up. You know what I mean? After all, high school friends and, I mean, college friends, I mean, gone from doing childish stuff. I mean, a lot of mischievous stuff. I mean, I ended up with a girl like that. I mean, waste her time, making her look unattractive, you know what I mean, and pushing politics, trans agendas. She is in fact female. Yeah, yeah. You ever know that when your sister wants to get on your nerves, she starts to talk about trans shit that has nothing to do with you. Of course, I can know the difference between these motherfuckers. They're putting it out online, man. Yo, the thing about it is that dude that ended up on Jerry Springer, you know what I mean, back in the day, he had a few of these guys sleeping with trans, with dudes that transitions from male to female and they couldn't tell the difference. Did they go through and do the entire body surgery? Like, you couldn't tell that, you know what I mean, something's wrong down there. Was it like these motherfuckers online that talking about they have like 30 grand of work done? You know what I mean? So you can't tell the difference. I think I can spot the difference. My book won't even really touch on that shit. You know what I mean? Cause people still trying to kill people in the real world for nothing. And I think, you know what I mean, there's a lot more interesting stuff. But not try to lose so much. And remember that, you know what I mean, we're still living in this real world where, you know what I mean, there are very dangerous people out there. You know what I mean? I think one of the things that keeps me grounded is that I still live in a world where, you know what I mean, I don't get cash all the time, but the time I actually do get paid cash. You know what I mean? I've got to watch like the place that I go, people that I'm around. You know what I mean? A lot out there just be waiting to just like stick you up, you know what I mean, rob you, you know what I mean, take all your money, take all your belongings, leave you stranded, you know what I mean, yeah, just the all around gutter type situation, like, you know what I mean, low life thieves, yeah, 2024 we still have a lot of thieves, but the thing that strikes everyone down, you know what I mean, is that, you know what I mean, it's like Thanos, that's the biggest threat, you know what I mean, you have like Thanos, like Ultron and all these galactic level threats, you know what I mean, what about the thief or robber, man? That's very intelligent, very volatile, very dangerous motherfuckers, man. People forgot about those guys. Oh, they're more concerned about Dr. Doom and shit, man. What about the everyday motherfucker that be watching that one? Yeah, that just ignorant. You know what I mean? Yeah. They forgot about the henchman that don't have no sense. He's still out there robbing people, man. Yeah, that's what's never ever changed in my world. I don't know about the West is still the West, the Wild West. We still have people, you know what I mean, that are, what you call it now, however you want to say, savage, you want to say, you know what I mean, they don't care, still rob your ass, they want the money, put you ass, you know what I mean, probably even kill you, just because they don't like like sometimes the crime is motivated by greed or money. Sometimes people are doing it because they realize. I mean, I've been to multiple locations in my neighborhood that some of the low-life neighborhoods that me and them was the same thing. Yeah, I mean, it's like with them wanting to start an altercation was because, you know what I mean, they bitch that if you're in a situation where you ain't at the bar, right? Because normally what used to happen, a lot of these bartenders now, I ain't go front or fight over no bar girl, waitress. You know what I mean? There's a lot of girls who go around. You know what I mean? You're living in an area where it's not about the girl. And people trying to find situations, create situations to like draw you out because they want to challenge you. It's kind of stupid. So you're finding that what people don't have is that, you know what I mean, there's a lot of, you know what I mean, stupid, dangerous people out there. You know what I mean? That still, you know what I mean? They don't get Ultron or Galactus or none of that shit, man. Some of them are like crack beans. They still send your ass up and rob you if you're not conscious. When you're out there, you know what I mean? They're dangerous people out there. You know what I mean? There are not many alleyways or back alleyways, but there are a lot. You know what I mean? People out there making people, you know what I mean? Selling people junk. Yeah. How would you come around, you know what I mean? Try to sell junk. Like, yo, man, fucking, you're gonna sell me, a second-hand PlayStation 2. It looks like it has dirt on it, man. Where the fuck you get that, bro? Like a landfill or something. And just the other day, somebody tried to sell me some DVDs, man. And like, I'm like, some old ass DVDs. Man. I wonder if he's still garbage. I'm like, my God, what? I don't even have a fucking DVD player. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out there that, yeah, we're still on the low echelon. You know what I mean? Consider to be in the street level. You know what I mean? It's stuff that these commercial like intergalactic beings and all type of weird party doing shit that don't make sense. You know what I mean? I think like the only one that was stuff like, you know what I mean? I mean, everybody's all cosmic and weird. They don't even have real problems anymore. I think that's one of the things in the 90s that I could always remember. You know what I mean? That it was not perfect back then in terms of stories that came out by certain people's run on certain comics like I've never had my phone stolen, but in the past like 5 years, you know what I mean, a bunch of people, you know what I mean, that steal phones just all of a sudden start appearing, you know what I mean, stealing everyone's. It's like they feel like if you're on a deep phone, you're stealing your phone. It's crazy. And as soon as they stole the phone, I just went in the store and bought a new one. That easy. And I mean, call my service provider, got called, made them cancel my check, and all my numbers written down in my book that I keep. You know what I mean? I keep that with all my information. And it's crazy. Stupid these nowadays. You know what I mean? Thieves are, you know what I mean? I've seen online stuff, you know what I mean? All these girls that say, you know what I mean, they're the streets, and they're one of the big reasons why it's happening. Have you ever went to a club where you ran into like two of those people and then you have to end up, you know what I mean, renting a hotel room and like the call girl that you're with, you know what I mean, she tried to steal your fucking phone. You know what I mean? So it's some crazy shit. You know what I mean? A lot of these people are still out trying to do this shit. So a lot of my stories that I do are based upon this. You know what I mean? I illustrated this with what happened to me in the past 5 years. Story, I took 2 months, did it, which I got everything that happened to me in the past 5 years, and this will probably be my last arc where I will take, you know what I mean, a break after because, alright, how I normally do things, 2003, when I just started, right, I worked up from 2003, 2005, 6, 7, stop at 7, that's like 5 years, then I focus on everything non-related to that, from like 2008, 9, 11, 10, 11, and then 2011 I started the next story arc that lasted from 2011 to 16, you know what I mean? And then I was completely out of it. I completed that. I was working on the next one. You know what I mean? Took a break from 2017, 18, 19, and in 2020. You know what I mean? I started painting. You know what I mean? Because nothing was happening. The pandemic in it. I was working with them in 2000 and 23. I was writing down notes of what, you know what I mean, the third arc should be. You know what I mean? Not third, but have a bunch of turn finally. And in 2000, after I stopped working chef, it was a very bad restaurant. You know what I mean? The first side. I do, you know what I mean? I do know that I was qualified for the chef. I've been doing catering. I've done a lot of things delivery wise. Not to get into it, but you know what I mean, when I closed, you know what I mean, when I left various You know what I mean? I want serious employees, serious employers. I want to be around serious people, and I don't want to be around people that really, you know what I mean, take things as a joke. So, you know what I mean? I'm trying to prioritize, you know what I mean, get rid of a lot of nonsense. Because I want to live long and you know what I mean? It's not just about, you know, getting this work out of stuff because really and truly me getting the work out is something that is very easy. It has been easy for me from the age of 21 because I worked really pressed at that time and you know what I mean I'm still paying for all the costs and if it wasn't for this explain invest still funding you know what I mean it's nearly easy that's not the impact that I would leave with everything that's coming out I want it to be remembered really you know what I mean and I want to see and I mean I want to give people an experience like you know what I mean all the authors all the artists before you know what I mean that did something really special and wrapped it up into one unique story and then just gave it to us monthly but in terms of doing it monthly I couldn't be able to do it monthly so you know what I mean doing graphic novels was the better choice. I mean, because you know, what I mean, I've always been one that has been trying to get into DC or Marvel back in the day. You know, what I mean, I have because if you're a reader coming from 90s and a kid growing up in that period, you know that you could always write them and send them fan art. You know, what I mean from primary school. I think we stopped in high school, but when I left high school, I still was downloading talent searches that DC Comics used to put out. I think Marvel used to give you the same thing until they stopped. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I think the last talent search, I even, now I mean, tried to get work with it as a artist, you know what I mean, on Spawn. Todd McFarlane's company, but you know what I mean, and finally figured out that you know what I mean, being independent, you know what I mean, it's better off publishing stuff. And when I found out the cost, you know, I get myself printed and stuff. I said I thought it was drastically more. Sometimes, you know, you just have artists out there that they go out, they see people that are a lot more established and out there, you know what I mean, like, you know, like veteran artists kind of like give them that push towards notoriety, you know what I mean, and well, I found my niche with a lot of, you know what I mean, artists who were not, you know what I mean, common traditional artists, you know what I mean, they show me the business and time went along I learned and you know what I mean developed all my stuff you know what I mean reached to this level and you know what I mean still doing it even though a lot of people are taking a lot of options but I think art should always have a soul in terms of say people are hiring people that are non-artists and non-illustrators. You know what I mean? Use AI generated artwork. Because if you see my stuff, like we talking, you know that I'm not a supporter of AI generated artwork. I think in a lot of cases, it seems soulless and you know it would be soulless and cheap. I think it's for commercial uses. I don't think should even define as art. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Yeah, because people that because it's only heaven you can play. You know what I mean? I'm grateful. It's just one of the many. But what I can say, the people that spend their entire lives, you know what I mean, centered around art. You know what I mean? That's their main bread and butter. That's how they, you know what I mean, they send their kids through school, college, and pay for their mortgage, utilities, all that stuff. And it's not a way of life. It's not just it's a means of survival for a lot of people. So people are gonna think it's even they see that it's an AI generated thing. It's copying off their artwork. It's crazy. You know what I mean? You can see in the backdrop that book. You know what I mean? That's Frank Miller 300 book. That's the original I bought. And way back in the day, I think I bought that in 2006. You know what I mean? When it just came out. You know what I mean? I colored it. And now I have plastic now. And basically pressing on, you know what I mean? A masterful work that spawned. It's crazy, but to see it. There are a lot of stuff that can still happen to people. You know what I mean? People should be mindful of that. You know what I mean? The human, a lot of people think they're past, you know what I mean, the human condition in terms of say, you know what I mean, they're transcendent things. But I think, you know what I mean, we need to get more down to earth in terms of, you know what I mean, the storytelling and cut out a lot of that, you know what I mean, that identity politics stuff and all these transitioners in the industry. I think we should stop focusing on that and focus on real issues, you know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean, there's still a guy out there that's dangerous. You know what I mean? He's wondering why people don't see that he's there. Now I mean, he's like that dude in RoboCop 3 that's gonna go out and try to rob a donut shop filled with cops. But not that stupid. You know what I mean? If y'all get what people are trying to convey, you know what I mean? I think that dude's still out here, man. He's observing a lot of shit. He's watching a lot of shit and making plans. Yeah, making a lot of plans, man. He's making a plan to come for that money that I have, man. He wants my money, yo. Yeah, they didn't know. I don't think I'm getting nothing close to the loyalties that Frank Miller's getting. But I can still, you know what I mean? It's preserved. Yeah. And I'll go through some of the stuff I did since the month started. You know what I mean? That's 500 pages. You know what I mean? If I did like 10 pages a day, you know what I mean? I do more artwork than that. I stopped counting the amount of pages I do. Do a lot. And I think I don't even count the amount of work I do. But I wanted to do like a year worth of work in like 1 to 2 months, and this is what I came up with. I think I'm gonna cover this more in the next video. I'm gonna go over all the stuff I did, coming up, and the processes that I went through doing it. Right about here, I think I'm adjusting my lights. Whole lot of artwork, man. And it's the one thing that never leaves me, so, but me trying to catch up on Spanish and a bit of French in my spare time, reading books in Spanish and French, trying to catch up on that, because in school never stop learning, and in some ways I'm still trying to find broader appeal, in different languages. I want to transcend my own language, because English was my first. Now I talk like regular Jamaican patois, and standard English, that's my first, and Spanish, I'm still doing Spanish, French, probably one day, I'll take on some Japanese, Mandarin or whatever, and probably German. Well, Rosetta Stone, I still use that, apart from, certain dictionaries when I have time, because, for the casual reader, you can read like a 500-page book a day. For some of you that have boring ass jobs like working security and all that, yeah, what are you gonna do on 8-hour shifts? 8-hour to 12-hour shifts. So crazy. But, y'all get the drift. To those of you that still read books, you can probably get a PDF or a CRB on your phone or something. It's much more easier. Or audio book. The audio books. I plan to do this in audiobook form as well. So you're gonna get it in audiobook, probably get it in 2 or 3 different languages. English being the first. So I'm just looking to transcend and make sure that the point comes across, because I've been watching a lot of French stuff. That French cartoon that they put out, I think it was last year. What was the name of it? I think it was Mars Express. I saw that cartoon as, a testament to how I would approach it as an animator. Like Mars Express style. Seeing that when I saw how they did the animations, I thought it was like Blender type stuff or 3D type stuff, and then they made it look like 2D animation, but they were doing a lot of 2D animation work in like the regular traditional way you would go about it in Illustrator or Photoshop, and then just add it in After Effects and stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there now, a lot of innovative stuff. I think Blender is going hard on that. See what they actually came up with. Something called Grease Pencil. You can do a lot of stuff with that. You have a lot of stuff that capture animation in the best form. I could still do it in Illustrator, Photoshop, or Adobe be animator. You know what I mean? But what I'm planning to do is something very, you know what I mean, it's a very fluid animation. So, you know what I mean? Just want to capture that as fluid as possible, as fluid as my illustration. Yeah, and I'm gonna do a next video though that's gonna go more in depth in terms of how, you know what I mean, to view my work and, you know what I mean, the influences and all that, and more about sequential art for those of you that are familiar with that term. I've outdone myself in this one because I'm doing a lot more panels than I should have in terms of it's not traditional panel work. When it comes up, y'all see, you know what I mean, I've always tried to do dynamic panel work in terms of how in the 90s when everyone was trying to do all that dynamic panel work, have people come up the panels and stuff like that, and have the panels stylized and stuff. You know what I mean? I think that's something that kind of inspired me back then. And you know, as time goes along, you know what I mean, we can see where people are getting more innovative in terms of it. You know what I mean? So the image people still do it. You know what I mean? A lot of old school people still do it. Yeah. But how I was doing this last one, I wanted it to be the artwork to look fluid, as if it was moving. So there's a lot of panels that are done more than once where they're slightly changed as animation. As soon as the book come out, you're gonna see. I think it's gonna be released on the same time as the animation, so you're gonna see it in tandem, like how the Dark Knight Return animation was done, closely resembles the book. The book is the marker for how the animation looks on screen. So, you know what I mean? I was using the book as the storyboard anyway. So as soon as the book's finished, y'all gonna see the animation, how it unfolds, how it unravels, and how good it looks, how fluid, and the story beats. You know what I mean? It's just the next thing that I'm gonna explore in the next video. I think we're gonna go for a summer release with all of this stuff, so probably around the summer of 2025. And I try to go with all the marketing that I can get, like with my channel and with my Facebook, with all my other social media and stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, y'all can just take my word for it. know what I mean, I'm gonna release some of the story in a motion comic, you know what I mean, that I've been preparing for some time, so look out for that. Which, you know what I mean, it's gonna it will either grab your attention or it won't. You know what I mean? I put a lot of time into it, so you know what I mean, y'all can just know that I'm near to completion on all of this stuff that you see me doing now. So by the time you see this video, you know what I mean, all of what you're